Some people think when a woman starts leading in business, the home will suffer. But many families are discovering the opposite.
Before, I worked hard in our business, but I feared making big decisions. I was worried people would say I was disrespecting my husband. Then I joined the Grow Project, where I received training, business support, and coaching that helped me plan better, manage money wisely, and make decisions with confidence. Today, I lead with confidence in my business. I contribute more at home, support our family needs, and help reduce the burden on my husband. I'm not competing with my husband, I'm standing with him.
And our marriage has not weakened. It has grown stronger. We understand each other better, we plan better, and our family is better off because her voice counts.
When a woman is supported to lead, the family can move forward.
The Grow Project is empowering women with skills, confidence, and support to make informed decisions that strengthen their families and grow their businesses. Respect her voice, support her choices. For more information, contact your district or City Grow Project focal person or call 0800 307 777. The Grow Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
You are watching the Lens program.
I'm Kasman Namugali, the mayor Bale City. Bale City, we all know, is found in the eastern part of this country, of course around the slopes of Mount Elgon. It's a city that is slightly densely populated. It's still a population of around 400 persons during night time. And during the day, the population will oscillate between 500 to close to 1 million. Of course, the fact that the city is a city of the eastern part of Uganda and also nearer to the western part of Kenya. We have people coming all the way from Kenya, they come and do trading here. We have people from Sebei, people from Teso, as far as the southern Sudan. So the city really during daytime is densely populated, very busy up and down. And people always engaged in critical businesses. That city is more or less busy throughout the period. But it's also a city that once in a while can be overtaken by rains. It is one of those cities that really, when it rains, there's serious flooding. Of course, people are disturbed in the upper slopes of the mountain, so all of them sometimes during that time also come in the city. So it brings a bit of disaster, but also opportunities for those who are doing other related businesses. So basically, Bari comes from Faisa among the few cities that started, among the 10 cities that started, that were given state status. Of course, even without that, the city was really developing towards that. It's one of those that at some point, I'm told way back, was among the areas that were more, where the former president wanted to move it, to give it state status, move Kampala to Mbale, possibly would be quite very far. But as we talk, of course, it was one of those who everybody would learn in primary that was the cleanest city in Eastern and actually Eastern Africa. So basically, it is a city that has been in existence, of course, as a municipality, and we now got state status around 2022. That's when it became a city. And definitely, I was the first elected state mayor of the city. So we've moved from far. There have been challenges, but there are also successes. We want to appreciate the government, of course. There's been a lot of support, really. First of all, giving us state status was a step forward. I remember there was a bit of fighting here and there, but we deserve that, and we want to appreciate that. There's also been a number of activities that we have done, but this is courtesy. We don't do most of these things on our own. Yes, we put in effort, but they are partners, and government is among those key partners. So we want to really appreciate. But as a municipality, of course, it was slightly smaller, with a road network of around 125 kilometers. We are now talking about the road network of around 535 kilometers of roads that are worth maintenance. It had a slight population of around 90 or somewhere there. We are now talking about a night population of over 400, like I've noted. So that brings a bit of opportunities, but also challenges at the same time. Most of these cities, people may not have quickly seen and realized that they were really key at the time of starting, and Mbale being one of them. I think at the time people thought, now you see, there is a little politics here and there, ABCD, we are doing this because we are entering into a political period. But as of now, given the services that the city is rendering, I think people are starting to appreciate. There are some things that cannot be seen immediately, but I think over time, people are now starting to see. At the time we came, I talked about the road network of around 125 kilometers. And very few, I think around less than 50% of those were graded roads in terms of bitumen or tarmac, as we commonly call it. As we talk now, that has increased. We have pushed to more than 30% if you talk about the municipality there. And remember, these other annexed areas were not part of the road network. So these ones, we are now pushing them within our bigger fiscal plan, and then we finish that. Of course, the moment we finish the CBD, which is more or less getting complete, with the support from USIMID, and of course, when we are talking about USIMID, it can't come without a government hand. So really, and that's why we say we can appreciate. We say, yes, World Bank sponsored, but if the government said no, that wouldn't come. So what has made Mbale move, and if people notice, of course, the city has come from far. Most people who came here 2-3 years ago, you would see heaps of cabbage within the city all over. You would actually get disgusted. When you are on Utirinyi Road, as you enter the city, you would see a heap that has come up the road. So the driver would be actually negotiating, avoiding the cabbage on the road. The cows are all over. Now, that meant that we must start with issues of mindset and taking bold decisions to ensure that the city is transformed. So transformation has been happening. As of now, you'll notice that the city is now seeming like a city now. Cabbage is no more. Yes, there are pockets within that, but these are normal things that we day-to-day things. All the heaps were cleared, and the road network has also improved within the CBD. And after that, remember the time when I came into office, I think our partners were more or less running away because provision was a very big challenge. When we were in the first phase of our road network supported by USIMID, activities did flow well. For those who notice our Republic Street, you notice that the road had more or less gone past, more or less closer to the windows of the structures. The water would rain and enter. All this have seemingly now, with the proper leadership, have seemed to be wiped out. We also agreed in principle that we put politics out of the development of this city. And I think that has helped. And it's the reason you've not seen a bit of fights, chaos, issues of strikes within the city. These have not been there. We agreed with all the leaders from different offices that our focus should be on transforming the city. And I'm happy that that came to pass. All our people have been focused on how do we put the city right. The frequent meetings we've been having with the different stakeholders and the different offices, having agreed that let's focus on transformation, have yielded some results for the city. And that is why you see Mbale, yes, we are not at the level that we think we must be. I think this is now even providing challenges for the new leadership that is taking over. We've cleared the cabbage, but we are not yet there. There has been an effort in terms of transformation to open up some of those central lanes that had also been blocked. Of course, we are doing this, but very conscious with the way, respecting the fact that we have our low-income persons that the state must grow with slowly. So we do this, we avoiding hurting most of our communities that are trading within. At the time when I just started our office, coming as a mayor, people thought that because the city is having an uncontrolled population, you cannot keep it clean. And that is, I think, the excuse that was being brought out. No, we can't do this because by the time we do this, in the evening, there will be cabbage all over. We said, no, we can maintain cleanness and sensitize our people, but also ensure that the people are working. And that also, I think, to a great extent, has come to see Mbale now transforming into a much cleaner city. More or less now going to past where they say Mbale used to be much cleaner. A bit of focus on greening to ensure that the city is not left bare. And that's why when you move around Mbale, you see a lot of effort in terms of greening. So all these are things that are coming up because we agreed in principle that let's put all our politics aside and focus on transforming the city. A bit of challenges, of course, like when you are moving with our people with a different mindset. Some people have a fixed mindset that you have to keep sensitizing them, but also engaging carrot and stick, that where necessary you apply some minimal enforcement. But our focus mainly has been more of sensitizing and agreeing with the communities. That has helped see the city move. In terms of education sector, again with the support from the center, most of our schools have now been a bit of transformed. There's now security in most of our primary schools. You cannot enter and get out. That was the situation, and that is why performance in this had been so poor that the kids would enter the school premises and get out at any time the child wished. And why is because there was no deliberate effort to create security for this for the schools, especially primary schools. And our focus on ensuring that all schools are fenced off have also yielded in terms of protecting the child and also ensuring that the children stay in school. That is why some of the schools' performance has gone high. Two of our schools, one of them I think is the school, some rural school in Musoto there, I'm told their results had to be withheld because of the thinking that maybe the spontaneous performance that went so high. The thinking from the team at UNEP was that there could have been either cheating or helping these kids to do. But we have simply created a very enabling environment for these kids to learn and for the teachers to also perform their duties. So I don't want to rule out the other facts because you never know, but I know the improvement in performance of this, especially primary schools, has purely been because of the environment, the learning environment having improved. We still, of course, have challenges around the teacher-child ratio, but at least now you can see that there's a lot of focus, and kids are now within school premises. They are learning without real rhetoric around the city. At the time I came in, I think you would find a lot of uniforms for these kids all over the city, and one would wonder at what time these kids are really learning. So for me, I think that has seen some improvement. In terms of health, there has also been a tremendous improvement. When you check our facilities like Namatala, like Bufumbo Health Center, these are facilities where the population communities move from the city center here to go and even get treatment here. We've been telling our people that yes, there are challenges within these facilities, but the treatment there is better. And now I'm happy that the population have come to appreciate the fact that, sometimes we talk before reaching there. But all those who have now gone to these facilities actually getting better treatment. Yes, there are challenges in terms of stock out for drugs and all that, those happen, but at least they are able to be checked now. And we've also tried to stock there. We put there some facilities that are helping in terms of checking for different ailments. So in me, I think if we follow this trend, then the situation will totally be different. And that is why I think that is the secret between Mbale not having a lot of unnecessary upheavals, strikes and all that. because people are getting, and these are the things that really sometimes create resentment within the population. And some of them have not been knowing that these things are functional and they are there. The moment someone falls sick, immediate things about the clinic. But those who have now been pushing, please, before you do this, go to the government facility. They have started appreciating. I think even some of our workers there have also improved in terms of their customer care to these patients. But as a city, I think it has improved. And for me, I really want to applaud most of our stakeholders within and all the communities that accepted that we must move and we must all play a role in ensuring that the city moves. There are challenges, of course, in terms of connectivity, and because I said like this place it has the heavy rains when it starts raining. The rains that happened in the year, I think around July 2022, washed away most of the bridges from that are connecting the different parts of the city. And of course, that one, there has not been an affirmative action to ensure that these bridges are put, because the current program of PDM we are giving, it should be able to enable the farmer up there move his products faster to the state center where there is a market for the products. That is seemingly not happening. And within the pillars of PDM, the key pillar there is the infrastructure. Of course, that was put deliberately because this supports the movement of goods from different parts of the city. And the area, like I said, this area is connected with quite a bigger population coming all the way from Sebei sub-region, coming from the mountains, coming from the different districts of Bududa, because it's a big room of this area, Manafa, Sironko, and all those areas. So when these bridges are not connected, then it means that someone will find it a bit expensive to maneuver and make the goods reach the market. Definitely that has an effect on the farmer, the speed at which, because most of the products are horticultural products that are perishable, and if they don't move faster, if the farmer takes a number of days on the road, by the time he reaches the market, maybe the product is not in the state that it's supposed to be. So that poses a very great challenge that there is need really to focus. Here we more or less now know the periods that are bad. We know now the weather patterns here, and we know the effect when it comes to that period when it is raining. So it is easy to forecast and maybe proactively manage some of these things. So if we did that, then I think the city would be moving quite faster than the way it is moving now. All this definitely requires the proper leadership. It requires the networking. It requires harmony between the center and the local government, because you cannot work in isolation. Most of the things we do, a city is like an operation office or a kitchen where you cook from. But for you to cook food, food must come from somewhere. For you to operate, there must be support from somewhere. So it therefore means that you cannot work in isolation. You must work with the center, with the mother ministry, with the different departments of government, for you to be able to deliver a service to our people. Because what our people are interested in most is service delivery. The other issues come for this and the other, we make that noise during the politics and so on. But the way the moment the politics ends, like now it has ended, the focus should be on how do we serve our people. And I think that is what we deliberately agreed, that in Mbale, please, politics aside, once it is done, we now focus on service delivery. What do our people need? What they, whatever. So there could be challenges, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but the people have moved. Yeah, as in Mbale is an agro-agricultural city, I would say, and it's basically Elgon and Budusa as a sub-region. When you look at it right from here up to Sebei, our main activities is agriculture. That is what people are producing. Of course, the coffee, you know it here, it is very paramount. If you come at the time when they are harvesting the Irish, You'll find vehicles parked here going to Rwanda that are taking Irish to Rwanda. In fact, if you go now to Bugwe Road, you see vehicles parked there, they are loading whatever. So agricultural activities are very key. What we have been promoting also is now tourism, because we thought that this place has a landscape and physical features that can actually attract people to see. The people who are here, they're interested in seeing the waterfalls, Sipi in Bay here, and currently in partnership with the Wildlife Education Center, we are having a zoo being put up here that that are now focusing on ensuring that we also boost that tourism industry, because tourism employs a bigger population at different levels. You know, like one of the issues that actually made us to focus on cleaning the city, no visitor would want to go into that area. And all this were aimed at boosting our tourism. Now, why we are boosting tourism is that tourism employs within that chain, it employs different categories of people. There are people who are now having, for example, hotels within. These hotels don't grow their own food, but they host people who eat their food. So now they are forced to go and look for food up there. And then they don't go and pick themselves. The drivers will drive up there to pick matoke and bring here. So the driver is engaged within that cycle. The tourists are spending some dollars here. The hotels are functional. Then that means they're also providing employment to our younger population. And the farm up there is also now being boosted. Of course, now with PDM, they are now increasing their production. So in a way, that is why our focus in the city, we say we should be able to focus not only on agricultural productivity, but also focus on the tourism sector. Finally, definitely, we must thank the president of this country that if we are talking about that industrialization, that was his initiative that has now engaged the people. If we are talking about the roads improvement, if he had objected, we wouldn't be having them. We want to thank him for that. I know in the next Sanja, that starts in July, I mean in May 12. Of course, like they say that you yearn for more. The area still needs more in terms of road network. We would thank you. The people have spoken this time round. They voted overwhelmingly. And they're also now expecting overwhelming support in terms of development. That is the key. And finally, I really want to appreciate UBC. The program you've started is quite good. And I think it's something that has been overdue. We want to really have this program running through the years. Let people get know what is going on. Let the country appreciate where cities are and different local governments. Of course, me, I'm talking about the city because as a city mayor, my bias is here, but we are talking about the local government must be appreciated what is happening. So for us presenting this in different local governments, we'll give a picture of what is there, because these are things that we are talking about on the ground. So some of them, as we talk, they are easy for you to verify. Rather than waiting for us in Kampala to come and talk about this, you come down here so that when we are talking about Mbale is now transforming, you can actually also move through and see that yes, it is transforming. So I want to appreciate you and thank you for this program, and pray that you keep it on for the rest of the period so that people can really get to learn. Thank you so much.
Good evening, viewers of UBC Television. I am Hamza Banja, and I'm the Deputy Resident State Commissioner of Mbale City. I'm in charge in that State Division where we are now. The city, as you can also move around and see, it is regaining its past glory. The city which was primary, which is the cleanest city in Uganda, East Africa, it was Mbale City, but it had issues. And those issues are being ironed out, and we thank the political leadership and the technical wing for the good work they are doing in Mbale City. As you are moving around, you have seen people, what people are calling chasing away people from the road, vendors and the rest. But for us, we are saying it is cleaning the city. As you have moved around, you have seen those people who were selling on the streets. All of them have been sent to the market. No government built this central market here, which is one of the biggest in the city, sorry, in the Uganda, and it is accommodating close to 5,000 traders. The way forward is as we wait for the swearing in, which is meant 12th of May, when the new government is coming. Actually, people say the new government. The new government. The other side people we are waiting for the new government, but now the same government is coming back, although in the new term or in the office. So the new government, we are waiting to see. You see, the president promised us, and when he came around, he promised the masses that in cities, whole cities, because now we're talking about PDM, but when you look at, we have very big parishes. A parish that has over 8,000 people.